Marco, what stood out for you?
60 minutes team effort, I would say. I just told the guys from the first minute to the last minute, from the goalie, D, to the forward, special teams, I think we all chipped in today. And that was just a nice team win, where we had a lot of jump, especially in the first period.
How about this? A little afternoon hockey, baby. This tweet from the Bruins. A Monday matinee at TD Garden. 1 o'clock. Lightning. Nesson. Be here, baby. You gotta love it. Okay, so I ask, Bruins now 3-0, or is it more like 3-0? Oh, okay, Bruins, I see you. How about this start for this hockey team?
I love it, especially because I actually tweeted after the game. I was like, is it too soon to remind everyone that the guys were a little pissed off that they were being so underestimated?
Yeah.
Got some honest reactions, by the way. Some people said, calm it all down. Other people were like, well, they're sticking to what they said that they were going to do. They're sticking to the script, being hard to play against, making sure that if it's low scoring, they come out on top. And oh, by the way, secondary scoring is coming into play for this team. But the hats off really has to go to Marco Sturm, his system, his structure, and the buy-in overall. Hence, this team being 3-0 to start.
Yeah, I mean, the hats off doesn't go to Marco Sturm. The hats off goes to us for calling how this team had to play to be successful this year.
Very
right. We got into this going into the season. Not that we were sitting here drawn up 3-0, obviously. So, take that, Vegas. Still plus 300 to make the playoffs, the Boston Bruins. But I know it's an uphill climb. We get it. Obviously, today is not going to be easy. But in terms of Jeremy Swayman having that predictable bounce back, obviously, last year did not go well for him. Part of it was missing training camp, the contract dispute, all of it. He went into this year focused, had the time, got the reps, all of it. And so far, 2 games for him, but elite. He's allowed 2 goals. Your defense has locked down, even absent now the most recent one. Hampus Lindholm is one of your top defenders. The penalty kill has been literally perfect. 12 for 12 so far. They've had different contributors there. Power play more than serviceable at about 18%. And you mentioned it, depth of scoring. 9 different goal scorers in 3 games for the Boston Bruins. 15 different guys have points. That's the formula. That's how you win. It can't be Pasternak, Lindholm, Geeky every single night. It was game 1. That's fine. But from there, we've seen different guys contribute.
I have a question. Is this a hater question, or is this just an astute observation? Because I'm looking at the schedule. Okay, the Caps are off to kind of a slow start, but that was a quality win. You're in D.C. I get it, right? You've had a couple of home wins against teams like, I look at this Lightning team. You got to win the games on your schedule. Yeah. However, could I look at today's game as this Lightning team is a step up, although they're off to a slow start too. But it's a step up in competition for this team and a real test for the Bruins. Is that like am I a hater, or am I observing that right?
No, I don't think you're a hater. I think you're observing, because let's just copy and paste what was being said heading into the matchup versus the Capitals. Capitals being a stout team, everything was in favor of what
playoff
the Capitals present themselves. So coming into this, those gutty wins that they had, that's some of the DNA they're going to need versus this Lightning team. Because, they're not off to a hot start, but I've said it always. A desperate team is a dangerous team, and they're going to be looking to pick things up on the road, more importantly. Now, being somebody that's covered the Lightning for quite some time, I can tell you one thing. Away games, road games, not particularly their sweet spot. This has always kind of been a tough turnaround for them to find consistency and to stick to their game against an opponent time and time again. So this is a great test, another kind of test for this Bruins team to say, hey, can we take it back to the clean execution we had versus the Capitals?
Physical teams, too, historically have given the Lightning issues, right?
Yeah. That's why I had it. We did the predictions here, actually. Season preview predictions. And what did I mention? If this is a team that is hard to play against, them being the Bruins, they can take away some of these high-skilled teams. Now, we saw the Lightning go toe-to-toe with the Senators. They capitalized on the power play to make things interesting and keep it a close game, but it was the Senators that came out on top of that because they're not able to do 60 minutes of physical play. But within that physicality comes the discipline, and this is where the Bruins are going to have to dig deeper, because you don't want to give this team a chance, an opportunity to constantly be on special teams. And while a number of teams use special teams to their advantage to get momentum swings and to get back into games, it also just can stop both teams from ever getting into a rhythm rhythm or finding their structure. And a lot of the Bruins' success right now is contingent upon them being able to establish and stay within their structure and force their opponent to play their game.
Well, we've joked about it. We keep saying we're going to beat this drum as long as it's true. The whole be hard to play against.
Sure.
And through
Tough
3
out.
games,
Yeah.
obviously they have been. And I'm not like speaking out of turn when I say this is a game the Lightning are supposed to win. The Bruins, I realize they're home and I realize they've been better, but they are also, again, if you want to bring Vegas into it, they're underdogs.
Yeah.
The Lightning are, without a doubt, the more desperate team, looking to get on track, looking to prove something. You've fallen now to the Sens, pardon me, to the Devils. A couple of high-scoring games, outscored 10-7. You're not getting that top-line production you would like to get so far through 2 games. Your goalie, who is one of the best in the league, and Andrei Vasilevsky, has been terrible to start off the year.
Well, not terrible. He's been left out to dry.
Fine,
Jeez.
but
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I mean, the defense in front of him has been very poor, but obviously, at the end of the day, if we're looking at the stats and all that stuff, he's been
make big saves.
Yeah, he's stopping like 85% of his shots. It's been, which even by modern standards, that is terrible. And so he needs a bounce back. The team needs a bounce back. 0-2 at home. You got to get on the road, right the ship, get away from just sort of the, guys talk about this all the time, whatever the sport. When you're struggling, you want to get on the road with your teammates.
Yeah.
You want to get into the hotel. You want to get out of your houses, away from your families, away from any sort of distractions, and just sort of regroup. And this is that opportunity at the beginning of a road trip here for Tampa. And the Bruins, who are about to go on the road for 3, it's this final game of the homestand, and you hope for them it's not a letdown spot.
Yeah, you gave me a nice transition there. Call us, 617-790-0928. Get in here. We're talking Bruins. And we're talking Patriots all show. So get in here. Just call us, would you? Look, I want to know if this is sustainable, the way this team's playing, because I get it. Like, defense, low scoring, as Adam said, a tough out, tough like a $2 steak, right? Like, I get all that. That's cute. But is that sustainable, A? B, I mean, like, to me, if this team gets down in a game, a couple goals, are they capable of coming back and winning it? Do they have enough firepower to do that? And then Adam brought this up. I'm looking at it right now, so I'm going here. After this, you go to Vegas, you go to Colorado, you go to Utah, and then it's home against the Panthers. Brad, I'll never let go. I mean, like, this is a hellacious schedule coming up after today's game, which is a tough game as well. So is this sustainable, what we're seeing from the Bruins?
Well, for one, the road trip ahead is going to teach us whether or not it actually is sustainable, because you're talking about point producers that can very much have you chasing the game. But I use the tough to play against, and Brick and I actually talked about it because I was curious. We saw it in the Stanley Cup final, Panthers versus the Oilers 2 years ago. The Oilers were a fast team. They were consistently dumping the puck. That was their way of getting ahead, and you saw the Panthers slow them down. So if you're tough to play against and you have the capability of slowing down fast teams, of disrupting skilled teams, you can do that with physicality, you can do that with good defense, and then, oh, by the way, you keep it low scoring enough, you need that second and third and fourth line to be able to punch in. Keeping it to today's game, though, this is a good test, because now they're looking to potentially go 4-0. Can this hard to play against work in their favor? And it can in a number of ways. The Lightning have kind of been a mess in their neutral zone. They've been unable to get plays going, and that's usually been a sweet spot for them. Well, we saw the Bruins manage the neutral zone very well versus a Capitals team. So you take away something they rely on to find scoring success, and now we're already looking at things favorable for the Bruins. As you mentioned, Vasilevsky, not top-notch right now. Well, a lot of breakdown plays coming on the right side of the ice. Darren Radish, I'm a big fan of yours, hasn't been playing well. And that is also where the Bruins played tremendously well on the right side of the ice because, oh, by the way, Kastelik sitting here ripping shots from the blue line. So some of the things that they've started to experiment with versus those teams, especially the Sabres, especially the Blackhawks, they can kind of try to build on versus this Lightning team and see if they can swing it in their favor. Any high danger chances and opportunity. Oh, by the way, Tanner Jeannot, Mikey Eyssimont, former Lightning guys that are very much net front nuisances.
Sure.
This is where they can show that they can score in different ways versus a Lightning team trying to get right side up.
Whew, net front nuisances. Say that 3 times.
Well, they're obviously, I mean, Casey broke down a lot, and she's going to continue to, check it out on her Twitter today. There are going to be all sorts of notes pregame and during the intermissions and throughout in terms of, what to look for here, which, again, incredibly valuable information.
Sure.
For me, where my head goes is what do I need to see today to kind of determine how I feel about the game afterwards?
Okay.
Now, your best case scenario obviously is a win, an emphatic win. That's the dream. But let's say if we operate more in a scope of reality,
all right,
and the Bruins don't win this game.
Okay.
There's a big difference between losing, 4-0 or something like that versus losing like 2-1.
So how you lose.
Right. And I don't want to call that a moral victory or anything like that. But in terms of general attitude and takeaway and taking positivity away from a game before you go on the road.
Sure.
If you lose, and we don't want them to lose, I get it. But if you lose a hard-fought, low-scoring game where your defense, your goaltending still does its job.
Sure.
The offensive production just wasn't quite there because maybe Vasilevsky rebounds.
3-2, 4-3 type vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want something that high scoring because that says to me, all right, well, so what went wrong for Swayman or what went wrong for the defense? Like, I want the win, but if they're not going to win, I'd rather see them lose
2-1.
2-1 or 3-1 with an empty netter.
I'm with you.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Look, I don't know how to feel about this damn road trip. Vegas, Colorado, Utah, we'll see, and then back home against the Panthers.
That's how to feel.
I think today, I like them today at home. I'm going to go Bruins today. I think they keep this momentum going. I think the Lightning are still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Advantage Bruins as long as they come in button up. I think that style. Although I question if it's sustainable big picture for this team, especially as injuries mount up, which is inevitable in hockey, okay? But for today, I like the momentum staying there. I think we will see some scoring today. I'll go 4-3. I think we get some extra periods today. I'll go overtime, 4-3 Bruins win.
Ooh.
I'm with Adam. I want to keep it low scoring. Something that's going to be dangerous here very quickly is they can't turn over the puck as much as they have because the Lightning do have a bloodhound on their team by the name of Brendan Hagel who will make them pay for it if that takes
No
place.
mistakes.
So I just know 4-0 sounds pretty good. I mean, listen, the way the Patriots,
Yeah?
Celtics.
Yeah?
What am I going to bet on the Bruins to lose?
No!
Sir.
Yeah!
No, sir. Not today.
Let's go!
Not today.
Let's go! Bruins win, baby!